Hey everyone, my name is Tabitha with Pop and Fox Fitness. Thank you for joining me today for your gentle stretching to ease stress class. Today we are going to focus on moving our body slowly and gently, helping to get rid of the stress that we've had maybe throughout our day or throughout our week. So I just want you to follow along with me, move the way that I do. But I also want you to do this just for you. This is a practice. This is a time that's just for you to help you relieve your stress. I'm just here to guide you through with what to do. So we're going to start in a simple seat, seated on the floor with your sits bones evenly placed down in your mat. Sitting up nice and tall here, relaxing those shoulders, engaging your core so your back isn't arched. Sitting up nice and tall, you can keep your eyes closed here, and I just want you to start focusing on your breath to start. Taking a big breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, letting go of any stress that you've encountered. Inhaling peace as you fill your lungs with air. Exhale that stress or tension out through your mouth. And as you take another inhale, I want you to imagine that the breath is going straight down to the places where you're struggling, where you're having your issues, or the circumstances that you're having trouble with dealing. Inhale that breath right down to those areas, and then just give them to God and let them go. So good. We're taking this time to just release our cares, give them over to God, because He is the one that can handle anything. He's the one that we turn to when our times are full of trouble. He's even the one we turn to when our times are good. We can praise Him, we can thank Him. He's our comforter, He's our provider, He's our redeemer, He's our healer, and He's our Father. So let's take this time to just focus on Him and just relax, stretch our bodies, get our blood flowing a little bit, and just soak in some peace. Again, take a big breath in through your nose and exhale out. On your next inhale, I want you to draw one ear to one shoulder here. Inhale. Holding this pose here, you can exhale out. And as you exhale, I want you to feel a little bit more stretch on the lateral side of your neck. Big breath in. Exhale it out. Taking time to thank Jesus for everything that He's done for us, for everything that we have. Big breath in. Exhale. Yeah, let's go ahead and switch sides. Inhaling as you draw your other ear to your other shoulder. But try not to lift that opposite shoulder as you draw your head down. Try and keep those shoulders squared, just getting the stretch in your cervical spine. So just in your neck here. Really reaching the crown of your head away as you reach one of your shoulders down, really lengthening the side of your neck here. Taking a big breath in. Breath full of joy, breath full of praise and thanks. Exhaling your fears and doubts, giving them over to God. Letting Him deal with it. Another big breath in as we draw our shoulder toward our ear on the other side, or toward our ear toward our shoulder, I should say, because we're not scrunching up our shoulders. We're keeping our shoulders relaxed. In fact, you might be pressing away just a little bit to lengthen that lateral part of your neck. Big breath in to the other side. Exhale. And now we're going to go into some neck circles here. So drawing your chin toward your chest, stretching the back, the side, the front, and the other side of your neck, taking big circles nice and slow. We're going gently and slowly so we can take the time to feel the stretch, feel where we may have the areas of tension in our body, so we can focus on loosening them up and letting them go. We can focus on the areas of where we have straining that we may feel. And for each head roll, we're taking a big breath in through our nose, and then we exhale out. And go ahead and switch to the other way. So during these stretching exercises, this is a mind, body, and spirit connection where we can begin to focus on our relationship with Jesus Christ. We can begin to breathe in His fresh breath into the lungs that He provided for us, into our bodies that He gifted us with. Let's do one more neck roll here. And bringing your head back to a neutral position. And we're going to start to turn our neck one way, turn our head, and then turn the other. And you can continue to keep your eyes closed here if you choose. It helps me focus and concentrate a little bit more when my eyes are closed. Otherwise, if you'd like to keep them open, if you might be getting a little bit dizzy with your eyes closed, go ahead and open them so you can see the direction where your head is going. With each turn, we do an inhale and we do an exhale. Nice and slow here. We're not speeding anything up. We're just taking this time to feel our tendons, feel our muscles. Let's do a couple more here. Good job. And we're going to start to roll our spine. So I want you to draw your chin toward your chest. And as you do this, you're going to press your spine back away from you as if you are rolling up in a seated ball here. Really stretching your whole spine. And then you're going to unroll kind of like a roly-poly. So bringing your head up as you bring your chest forward. Draw your shoulders back. Press your chest forward, really stretching into your clavicle and your front chest here. And take a big breath in right here. Exhale, release, curl back up. And inhale, lift. Breathing in that fresh new breath, fresh new life here. Exhale, release back into that little ball, pressing out every stale air that you have in your lungs. And again, unrolling here. Big breath in. And exhale into that ball. All right, slowly rolling yourself back up into that seated position. I want you to go ahead and widen your knees, bringing the bottoms of your feet together. We're going to stretch into the hip flexors now. You know, our hips are a huge area that we can carry lots of pain and lots of trauma. So it's super important to stretch these hips. Sometimes they can cramp up. So what we're going to start with is just some butterflies here, loosening up those hip flexors before we go into some hip circles. So slowly lifting up the knees and then pressing down. Not trying to compare yourself to anybody else here, but just feeling your body, feeling how far your stretch can go, feeling if you have any tense hips here. Loosening up those legs. 3 and 2 and 1. Let's take this into some hip circles. So we're going to draw our chest toward the floor as you keep your back nice and flat into a big circle. Keeping your hands right on your toes here. And again, with each circle, you're adding in that breath. Almost as like you're stirring a pot, and with each breath is a new ingredient. Maybe you'll have a little crack here with your spine. Maybe you were tense there. This is loosening up your lower back. And let's go ahead and reverse the other way. Thank you, Lord Jesus, that we can come to you with everything that we need. that you're always listening to us, that you never let us go, that you're always waiting for us, even when we forget about you, when we forget to talk about you, Lord. Lord, forgive us for only coming to you when things are bad. Help us to remember you in times of good as well, Lord. One more here. All right, back to neutral. We're going to start with walking our hands out, keeping your back flat, reaching with your fingertips as far as you can go, really opening up the back body here. Opening up the shoulders. And reaching a little bit further, just as far as you can go. I want you to really feel that stretch in your lower back and in your shoulders. And the deeper you go, the deeper you'll feel this stretch in your hip flexors as well. Pausing here for a moment. Laying everything down at Jesus' feet. Nothing is too much for him. You know, it's so easy for us to get caught up in a moment, caught up in the world, caught up in a situation. And then we have ideas with how we think things are supposed to turn out. And we really just need to stop. We really just need to stop and pray and ask God for wisdom, ask him for guidance with what he wants us to do, and if we're making the right decision. Go ahead and walk your hands to one knee here, or one corner of your mat. Getting a stretch in the lateral side of your body. Again, taking some breaths here, connecting our breath to each movement. Big breath in and exhale. Walking our hands to the other side here. And a big breath in and exhale. So good. Walking your hands back in and slowly rolling up. We're going to turn the long way on our mat and rolling down to the floor. We're going to take this into some bridge poses here. So planting your feet down, engaging your inner thighs so they don't splay open as you lift. Relaxing your head, neck, and shoulders here. We're going to inhale as we lift our hips off the floor. Holding this pose. This is a strong bridge pose. I want you to imagine that you're a bridge and your feet are anchored, your hands are anchored. You cannot be swayed. You know your thoughts, you know what you stand for, you know your values, and they won't be swayed by others' opinions, others' beliefs. And if you're unsure about something, you can ask God for some guidance. And he may speak to you through a song, through a person, through his word, through nature, or through a whisper. But we just have to make sure we are alert. Our eyes and ears are open to listen and receive. Go ahead and release. And we're going to do that again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. And on this next one, we're going to hold again. So inhale, lift. Go ahead and catch your breath. Normal breath flow here. Walking your hands tic-tac underneath your bum and interlacing your fingers here. So often there are bridges that may look strong on top because the cars can go across, but we don't actually see what's in the water. And I feel like when a bridge is under the water is where it's really being challenged, where it's really being challenged by the waters, by what's growing in the water, by the depth of the bridge, how far it is anchored down into the ground. So some things can seem strong on the surface, but they might be weak below. But this is where your strength comes from, where people may not be able to see it on the outside. But on the inside, you are so anchored and you are so rooted down with Christ's love. He'll never let you go. Go ahead and undo your hands and slowly bring your bum down. And we're going to draw our knees into our chest here. Interlacing your fingers. Rocking side by side, massaging that lower back. Again, taking some breaths with each rock. If your eyes are still closed here, I want you to just make sure that your eyelids are soft, that your forehead isn't scrunched up. And go ahead and lengthen your legs nice and long. We're going to just draw the right knee into your chest, interlacing your fingers around your shin bone here. A nice squeeze. And then go ahead and lengthen, pointing the toes. We're going to get into the legs here. Because our legs are what hold us up. Our legs are what keep us going. So go ahead and tug your right leg toward you just a little bit. If you need a slight bend in your knee, feel free. Otherwise, you can lengthen. You can grab behind your ankle, behind your calf muscle, or behind your hamstring here. I like to grab behind my ankle because it helps me lengthen my leg just a little bit more. And keeping your toes pointed here. Relaxing your neck so there's not an excessive arch. Eyes are up to your toes. And then you're going to bring your right arm out to the side. Your left hand will reach for the outer part of your leg. And you're just going to go over across your body just a little bit. But then I want you to pull up toward you because we're going to get into the IT band, which is this outer upper part of your leg that connects to your hip, a deep, heavy muscle here. Big breath in. Exhale, pull a little bit more. And let's go ahead and switch sides. Left arm going out to the side. Right hand reach for the inner part of your ankle, or even reaching up toward your toe or the inside of your foot, and just opening your right leg as far as it can go, comfortably but also challenged. Getting deep into that right hip flexor. Again, pulling up toward you just a little bit, but still opening up as much as you can. Releasing that tension, releasing any trauma in the hips there. And then we can go ahead and bring that right ankle over that left knee, flexing both feet. We're going to get into the glute here. So interlacing your fingers behind that left hamstring, drawing that right inner ankle right toward your chest. Feeling that deep, deep glute stretch on the right side. Maybe you did a lot of squats the other day. Or maybe you sat a lot all day. Or maybe you were just up on your feet moving around all day. So this is just what you need in any scenario, in any situation. This is just what you need today. Take a big breath in. Exhale, draw that inner ankle toward you just a little bit more. Good, and let's go ahead and relax the legs. We're going to draw our left knee into our chest now, interlacing our fingers around our shin bone, just squeezing that knee toward your chest. And then you can go ahead and lengthen that leg. We'll stretch into the hamstring and the calf. So again, grabbing behind your ankle, your calf, or your hamstring. You can take that slight bend in your knee here if you need to. Pulling that leg toward you here. Relaxing your neck, relaxing your upper body. Just using your hands for a little bit of resistance. And a big inhale in through your nose. As you exhale, draw that leg toward you just a little bit more. Really challenge those muscles to stretch, to open up, to release that tension. Good, and now we're going to take our left arm out to the side. Our right hand reaches for the outside of that leg. We're going to draw our leg over the midline of our body just a little bit, and then up toward our right ear, stretching into the IT band on the left leg. Getting into that outer hip, that outer glute muscle. Taking a big breath in. Exhale, pull over just a little bit more. And let's go ahead and switch sides. You're doing so amazing. I hope you are getting some relief. So right arm out to the side, left hand reach for that big toe or your foot or your ankle, and really opening up into the hip flexor here. Maybe one side you'll notice is tighter than the other, and that is okay because our bodies were not made equally on both sides. If it did, I think we would look a little weird. Like when you look at a mirror, the edge of a mirror. I don't know if you've ever done this when you were younger, but I would look at the edge of a mirror and kind of move my head side to side so it would look like, it would just look really funny. So go ahead and take a big breath in and then exhale and widen your leg out a little bit more. Let's take this into the figure 4 stretch. So left ankle over that right knee, keeping your feet flexed and interlacing your fingers behind that right hamstring. Inhale big, and then as you exhale, drawing that inner ankle toward your chest. Feeling the stretch in that left glute now. Oh, that feels good. I think my left side is definitely tighter than my right. Thank you, Lord, that you give us our legs, that you carry us through on our journeys, that you strengthen our legs to do just what we need to do to continue on whatever journey you have us on, Lord. Help us to keep our eyes on you and help us to not be afraid to step out and to be bold, to use our voice that you've given us. Another big breath in. Draw that ankle in toward your chest just a little bit more. And release both legs here. All the way down to the floor. Inhale, lengthen your arms long. Exhale, release. Now this time we're going to lengthen just our right arm and our right leg, and then we'll switch to our left side of our body. We're just focusing on one side a little bit more. So go ahead and inhale as you lengthen the right arm and left leg. Maybe your limbs will lift off of the floor a little bit. And then you exhale and switch. And again, inhale, just the right. And then exhale just on the left. Inhale on the right. Exhale on the left. Let's do one more, both sides. Inhale. And exhale, reach, reach, reach. Good. Go ahead and draw that left knee back into your chest. And then you're going to bring your left arm out to the side. Right hand reach for that outer left thigh as you twist over your body, bringing your knee down toward the floor. Bringing your left hip up toward the ceiling, and then bringing your gaze toward your left hand. This is a complete spinal twist to wring out our fears, to wring out our doubts, to wring out our stresses, creating space in between our vertebrae for our discs to become full and mobile. Take a big breath in. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. You can do it a little bit more. So good. And let's go ahead and do that same thing on the other side. Maybe your back will crack here. Drawing that right knee in, right arm out to the side, left hand reach for the outer thigh as you twist. Bringing your gaze toward your right arm here. Big breath in. And exhale a little bit deeper into that stretch. You can do it. And back to center. Long lengthening of the arms and the legs. Go ahead and flex and point your feet here. We're going to go ahead and roll up, crossing at the ankles and heading right into a plank. So bringing your legs back, your hands are underneath your shoulders here, and let's take this into a pigeon pose. So go ahead and bring your right knee forward, pointing the toes, and then bringing your right knee out to the side as you bring your right ankle toward your left hand, lowering down that back left leg, flipping over your foot, and having a seat into a pigeon pose. We're going to do some different variations of a pigeon. Also get in a great quad stretch here. So go ahead and open up your chest by bringing your gaze up toward the ceiling, pressing with the palm of your hands, or you can even press with your fingertips, tenting out your hands here. Shoulders are back and down away from your ears. Eyes are up to heaven, the glory that shines so bright. And let's go ahead and bring it down to our forearms here. And if this is where you want to stay, and this is just where you need to be, then I encourage you to stay here. If you would like to take this one step deeper, go ahead and lengthen your arms long and then relaxing your forehead down on the mat. And just holding this pose of grace, this pose of surrender. Feeling that deep, deep stretch in that right glute and your left hip flexors. Just breathing here, just letting it all go. Any fear that you have, anything that you're unsure about. If there's something that you've been struggling with for a while, you've been doing the same thing over and over and over and you just can't understand why things aren't going your way. Maybe it's time for you to start doing something else. Something that will make you more uncomfortable. Maybe it's time to get out of that comfort zone. Let's go ahead and lift up our heads if your head is down. Hands back in. And then I want you to bend that back leg here. With your left arm, you're going to reach behind for the top of your foot. Really stretching into that left quad here. Pulling towards you. Maybe this pose is a little bit uncomfortable, but it's okay to get uncomfortable. We were not meant to just have everything easy. We weren't meant to be on the same level all the time. We were made to do great things. We were made to change and get uncomfortable. And go ahead and release. Curl those back toes, lifting up the back knee. We're going to head back into a plank and do that same pigeon pose on the other side. So drawing your left knee toward the left arm and then bringing your left ankle toward that right knee, dropping the back foot, planting your hands down in your mat, opening up your chest or tenting your fingers to lift your wrists, getting a little more stretch and relief in those wrists. If you type all day, this is a great pose to do for the hands. Shoulders are back and down, your chest is open, stretching into the collarbone. Big breath in. And exhale down onto your forearms. And again, if you want to stay here, I encourage you to do so. Maybe you want to keep stretching that collarbone just a little bit more. Or you can lengthen your arms right down along the floor, stretching deep into your shoulders, relaxing your forehead down. Taking a big breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, a sigh of relief, a sigh that things are looking brighter on the other side. All right, let's go ahead and walk our hands in, heading back into that plank, lifting up that back knee, hands underneath the shoulders, legs are hip width apart here. We're going to go into a flow, dancing dog. So we'll head back into a downward facing dog, shifting the hips back to the wall behind you as you press the palm of your hands down into the mat, pressing your chest toward your knees, flattening your back, Biceps are coming right by your ears. Pressing your heels down toward your mat to feel a full body stretch through your fingertips down to your toes. Taking a big breath in here, and as you exhale, lifting up the heels, we're going to transition into an up dog, keeping your legs lifted, arching your back, eyes to the ceiling. Good. Inhale, back to the down dog. Exhale into the up dog here. And inhale, lift. And exhale. You're still the same body. You are just changing the pose. Still a dog, just changing from a down dog to an up dog. Just like with your perspective, you still have one brain, you still have one mind, but you can still change the way that you look at things. Again, inhale, down dog. Getting into the core now as we move. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down dog. Last one here. Exhale, up dog. And then relaxing the legs into a cobra pose here. Keeping the hands planted down, eyes up to the ceiling, hugging those elbows into your sides. We're going to go into some cobra push-ups to strengthen our upper body now. So bringing our chest down toward the floor as we squeeze the shoulders into our sides, elbows into our sides, elbows bent back, and then go ahead and push right up. Hands are still underneath the shoulders. And release, eyes come to the floor. Good, big inhale. Exhale as you lift. Very good. We're just going to flow here, really strengthening into those triceps, the back of our arms. Inhale, lift, and exhale, release. Stretching into our core. Inhale, lift. And exhale all the way down to the floor. Relaxing our arms, bringing your head just one way. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing your wrists. Taking a couple breaths here, being vulnerable in this pose. It's so often that we miss times throughout our day to just sit and relax, to just sit and be quiet. Sometimes we feel guilty for taking a rest or for taking a break. This moment is not one of those moments. This is a moment that we need to regain our thoughts, to regain our strength, and have time devoted for ourselves, for our breath, and to get close with God. Let's go ahead and turn our neck the other way just to stretch it out evenly. Just taking some breaths here, taking in this rest. All right, let's go ahead and bring ourselves up into a tabletop position. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees are hip width apart. Now it's time to get a little bit more into the core. So I want you to lift up your right arm straight ahead, tracking forward alongside of your ear. Lift up the left leg, flex the foot. This is a bird dog pose. Engaging the core so your back is not down like a cow and it's not up like a cat. Your back is nice and flat here. Taking some breaths. You can curl your toes here if you need to for a little bit more steadiness. There's nothing wrong with that. And let's go ahead and release and get the other side here. Left arm up, right leg behind, flexing your foot, pressing away from you to the wall behind. Steady pose, like a rock, never changing, just like Jesus. And release. Now we're going to take this into a 45-degree bird dog. So you're going to lift right arm, left leg up. Bring your arm and leg out to 45 degrees and then bring it back in. Again, bring them out. So good, getting that muscular energy going into our glutes, activating some more muscles into our core, our external and internal obliques, our transverse abdominals. One more. So good, and release back to the floor. Let's go ahead and bring up the left arm and the right leg. Same thing on this side. Drawing your arm out and leg to 45 degrees. Back in. Focusing on your strength here. That through many trials we have in our lives, through many troubles, that one thing we can for sure count on is God to be there for us. He is our rock. One more here. And release. And opening up your knees, connecting your big toes together. We're going to set our hips back into a child's pose. And just release here any more tension that you might be carrying. Hopefully it's not any more than from when that you started this exercise. We're going to finish this practice in this child's pose here, because child's pose to me is a pose of surrender. That you're laying everything down at Jesus' feet. That you trust in Him fully. So if you'd like to open your palms up to the sky, up to the heavens, and just say, Lord, I give this situation to you. I may not understand what I'm going through right now, and I may not know what the outcome is going to be. I may not know why that happened to me today, or I may not know why a situation happened to somebody else, but Lord, I trust that this is part of your plan, and I ask that you give me strength. I ask that you give me wisdom and clarity. I ask that you remove any blinders from my eyes, Lord, so I can see things clearly just like you see, Lord. Thank you for giving me this time to rest, to stretch my body, to help me get rid of tension and stress, Lord. And I just ask for healing, healing in my life, healing in my mind. Thank you, Jesus. Go ahead and take a big breath in. And on the exhale, walking your hands in toward your knees as you slowly start to sit up. Rolling back your shoulders. Take a big breath in as you lift your arms. Exhale, press out. Inhale, lift. As if you grew taller. Exhale, pressing that doubt, that fear, that shame, guilt down. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. I hope you enjoyed this gentle stretching as much as I did. I definitely feel relieved, and I pray that you do too. And maybe my Stanley cat feels the same way. I pray that you are blessed. And I pray that you can see and hear God clearly. I pray against the spirit of confusion in your life, because so often we could get confused with different things that people are saying and different things that we see on TV, and we don't know what is right, and we just get so confused and we just feel so lost. So I pray against the spirit of confusion in your life, and I ask for clarity for you and a sense of calmness and peace. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night, and thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you later. Bye.